Hello, everyone. Hmm. Hello, Hannah. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am here. Let us begin. Hello, 泡面。我爱吃泡面。Hello, Flavia. What kinds of things am I planning to teach roughly? Yvette, I have no idea. I answer any questions that people ask me if I think I can answer them. So, Yvette, I'm guessing you're new. Are you new? So, Yvette, maybe. Okay. So, Yvette, I have been on Hello Talk for about 12 years. I am an English teacher. I have about 84,000 followers here, and they follow me because I answer their questions. It's really that simple. Okay? So I teach about grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation and accent and reading and writing and listening and speaking and confidence and job interviews and public speaking and giving speeches and organizing your thoughts and all kinds of things. Okay? Today is a very open format called Ask Teacher Mark. If you have a question, ask me, and maybe I'll answer it. Okay? All right. Is my volume okay, everyone? Is my volume loud enough or too loud or anything? I made some adjustments. I want to make sure that the volume is okay. You guys can hear me? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you, Qatar. Do I think sound is more important than grammar? Well, that's kind of an interesting way to put the question, but in general, I will say yes. Okay? Communication is most important. So as long as you have clear words that people can understand, and as long as you have basic communication, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be basic. And then you can achieve communication, right? So it depends on what is your purpose. Is your purpose to communicate, just to express something? Or if you have a different purpose, maybe you need to have more perfect grammar. If your purpose is to be an English translator, then you need to have more perfect grammar. If your purpose is to be an English lawyer, a lawyer who uses English, then you need to have perfect grammar. So it depends on your purpose. Okay? But Yvette, it's just like my Chinese. My Chinese is not perfect at all. Okay, my grammar is pretty terrible. I think I often use English grammar when I'm speaking Chinese, but most people don't care. 99% of people don't care. There's always one person who says my Chinese is really terrible. And they're not wrong, but it's kind of rude to tell somebody that, especially just directly. But the point is, I don't really care. I'm continuing to work on my Chinese, and it will get better. But if I can achieve communication, that's really all I really care about. Okay? I'm not trying to pretend like I was born in China and I lived there my whole life. I'm just trying to get some ideas that I have in here out and express them in another language. That's all. Okay? Okay, if you have questions, you should ask me your questions. I am a teacher. That's why they call me Teacher Mark. So, if you have questions, I have answers, probably. Probably. Where are my instruments? They're still behind me. I'm still here. I just moved things around. Now you can see those are all my percussion instruments on that shelf there. Right? You can see these two hand drums here, and there are all these other little drums on the shelf over here. This shelf. Come on, chair. There are more instruments over there. Do I use ominously interchangeably with unpleasant? No. No. Unpleasant is just a simple, it means something is not enjoyable in some way. Okay, it's not enjoyable in some way. Ominous is a feeling that something bad is going to happen. So, if I say he ominously told us our grades, or he ominously told us when we would get our grades, that means everybody's expecting that they did not do well, and he's saying, you can receive your grades at 4 o'clock. If you speak in a dark way, it's ominous. Okay? So, let me look at the original etymology. Let's find out about ominous. Ominous comes from the Latin word ominosus, meaning full of foreboding. Right, so it's related to the word omen. Do you know what an omen is, Mona? What is an omen, everybody? O-M-E-N. Omen. An omen is some kind of a bad sign, like an evil sign, like something bad is going to happen. Okay, it's an omen. Like, there are many different cultures that have different omens. Like, if you see a black cat, that's an omen. It means something bad is going to happen, right? A black cat crossed your path. That's an omen, right? Maybe somebody broke a mirror. well, that's not an omen, that's more like bad luck. But anyway, like some dark clouds, we might look at the clouds in the sky and say those clouds look very ominous, which means like a bad storm is coming. Okay, so ominously is related to the word ominous, which is related to the word omen, which means something bad, right? A sign of something bad. So ominously is like foreboding. Okay? Yes, omens, you're right. Omens can be good, but Antonio, when we say that, put it this way, Antonio, if I hear the word omen without any context, I will probably think it's bad. If it's good, we will say it's a good omen, right? So it depends on the context, Antonio, but in most cases, when we hear the word omen, we think of a bad thing. The original meaning is bad. Yeah, but see, that's lucky. That's not ominous. That's not an omen. Finding a clover is lucky. That's the difference between an omen and something that foretells bad feelings. Luck is something that foretells good things. Okay? Yeah, but again, Antonio, this is why sometimes you need to look at the original meaning, like try to find out what did it mean in the beginning, right? And in the beginning, this word, it meant foreboding, which means means before, right? And the boding part is like bad, like it means something bad is going to happen. So foreboding is a feeling or an idea that something bad is going to happen in the future or soon. Okay? All right. Is the suffix turb in turbulence similar to trouble? I'm going to say probably not, but let me check, Carl. I don't think so, but let's check out. I'm not sure. I've never looked at the etymology of either of those words, so let's find out. Turbulence. Turbulent comes from the word turbid. So the Latin word was turbulentus, which means full of commotion, restless, disturbed, boisterous, stormy. Right? So the word turbulent originally did mean like stormy. Okay? Or figuratively, it means troubled or confused. And it's related to the word turmoil, and it's related to the word turbid, but it does not look like it's related to the word trouble. Let's look at trouble and see where trouble comes from. Trouble comes from the Latin word turbulare. Ah, look at that. So, kind of. Yes, Carl, kind of. They're somewhat related by root. Yes, trouble. It's interesting because the words, see, look, that's how spelling changes over time, right? So the word trouble is actually related to the root word turbid, or turb, T-U-R-B, where somehow the letters got switched to be tra instead of tur. Ah, it's the French. It's always the French. The Latin word was turbulare. The French word became troubler. T-R-U-B-L-E-R. So the French are who changed the spelling to a T-R instead of T-U-R. Or I should say T-R-U instead of T-U-R. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So yes, Carl, they are related by root. I would say they're not exactly related by meaning, but they are related by root. Okay? Soliloquy. What about the word soliloquy? I love a good soliloquy. I give them often. Katya, do you have a question about that word? You want to know where it comes from? It's probably French too, based on the QUE. But you should know that. Katya? So what is a soliloquy, everyone? Do you guys know? Anyone? Well, do you see any word in soliloquy? Is there anything that you recognize? Yeah, it's SOL, like solo, meaning one, right? So a soliloquy is when you speak like no one is listening. So maybe I'm in my room by myself and I'm having a conversation by myself about something. I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about something. For example, the most famous soliloquy of all is to be or not to be. That is the question. That's a soliloquy. Okay? Shubham, is that supposed to be a compliment? Am I supposed to... I'll tell you what. Today I'm going to teach you a lesson, Shubham. Okay? And the lesson is think before you speak. Okay? Okay, so what is a soliloquy? A soliloquy is a speech that you give by yourself when nobody's listening, or you think no one is listening, right? You think no one is listening, okay? So, yeah. That's what it is, okay? So, you can just, it's usually a word that we use to talk about when someone is talking about themselves or to themselves, or in some kind of a serious way they're discussing their life by themselves. That's a soliloquy. Okay? Danny Mars, I have no idea what you are talking about, but that is not what a soliloquy is. Dialogue is not the same as soliloquy, because what does dialogue mean? Dialogue, dia means across, which means you're talking to someone. So Hannah, a soliloquy, there is only one person. Solo. It's solo. Okay? Think of the word solo, S-O-L-O, meaning one. Right? So, a dialogue is between two or more people. A soliloquy is just one person. Okay? All right. Hello to everyone. If you have questions, you should ask me questions. Oh, Flavia, I meant to ask you, Flavia, over in my YouTube, Is the audio in my YouTube okay? Because I remember there was an audio problem where it was doubled. The sound was doubled. Is the sound doubled in my YouTube now, or is it okay? I hope. If somebody in my YouTube could tell me that, that would be great. Okay, so my name is Teacher Mark. If you have questions, you should ask me your questions. Okay? It's okay. Thank you, Norman. I appreciate that. Which idioms do you mostly use, Teacher Mark? Orenbeck, I use a lot of idioms. I have a pretty wide lexicon, means a big vocabulary of idioms. So I don't know which ones I use most often. I've never really considered it, but have you checked out that website? There's a website that's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's a good place to start. It's called theidioms.com. Theidioms.com is a website that has a bunch of, it's an idioms dictionary, that one, okay? Now, I would say about 80% of the idioms on theidioms.com are common and good. About 80% of them. I have seen a few idioms there on that website that I think are either British, and so I'm not very familiar with them because they're British, or they are not common, like I've never heard of them before. Okay? In your country, you call that a mad person when you talk to yourself? No. Everybody talks to themselves a little bit. Let's put it this way. Everyone talks to themselves, just not everyone does it out loud. Everyone has an internal conversation, right? You're talking to yourself all the time. What do I need to do? I should do this. I don't like this. I want this. I need this. Those are internal conversations. It's a soliloquy inside. And occasionally you say them. That's not crazy. Okay, next question. What is my favorite? There are so many. Let me see. I have a book over here. Let me get a book and I'll tell you some. Okay, so this is a book called The Scholastic Dictionary of Idioms, with more than 600 phrases, sayings, and expressions. I have many books that have idioms. This is just one. Okay, so let's see. I'll tell you a few good ones. Call it a day. Call it a day is a good phrase to learn. It's not really an idiom, it's just a phrase. Call it a day just means we're finished. We're done with our work. We should call it a day means we should finish our work now, and that's enough. We've done enough. Okay? Call the shots. To call the shots. Who is calling the shots means who's in charge, who's the boss. I'm calling the shots means I'm in charge. I'm the boss. Okay? Let's see. To have butterflies in your stomach is an idiom that means that you feel nervous about something. Maybe you're about to take a test or give a speech or do a performance, and you get that feeling like you're going to be sick, like your stomach is very, I don't know, it feels not good because it feels like something's in there. That's butterflies. Those are butterflies in your stomach. Okay? To bury the hatchet. Bury the hatchet is an idiom that we use. Maybe you had a fight with someone, you had an argument, and you're mad at them, and they're mad at you, but you want to fix things. You want to apologize. You want to make peace. Burying the hatchet means, hey, let's bury the hatchet. Means let's make peace. Let's talk. Let's try to put the argument behind us. And where does this one come from? This one comes from Native American history. There were some Native American tribes that when they would meet to talk about peace, a hatchet is a weapon. A hatchet is it's an axe. It's like a hand axe, right? So you can use an axe for cutting wood, right? Well, this is an axe for fighting, okay? And they would take their axe and they would dig a hole and put their axe in the hole and bury it. Then they would talk peace. And that was a way of saying, like, look, we're putting our weapons away. We're not going to attack anyone. We want to talk peace. Okay? So that's a good one. All right? There is a book that says either of tell me who he is or tell me who is he. Larry, technically both of those are okay. You can say tell me who he is, or you can say tell me who is he. But the second one, I would do different punctuation. I would say tell me, comma, who is he, question mark. Or maybe just tell me, period, who is he, question mark. But I think a comma would be better. All right? So you can phrase it that way if you mean the word order, but you have to use the right punctuation. Okay, what about run out of, put up with, collocations, and those are good. Again, that's advanced stuff, Orenbeck. Once you reach that point, you're learning advanced English. And both phrasal verbs and collocations are good to learn. But I think the best way to figure out which ones are good is go look online, Orenbeck, find a list of collocations, and maybe let me see if I can help you with that. Hold on. I'll try to find one for you. Yeah, here we go. Try this. Let me show you this website. This website here, you can find this. If you go to my website, you can find this link to English Club. And look, have a bath, have a drink, have a good time, have a haircut, have a holiday, have a problem, have a relationship, have a rest. So what you can do is you can go here and you can look at this list and then think about which of these would be useful in my life. Do I get haircuts sometimes? Yeah, I get haircuts sometimes. So I can say, what are you doing? Oh, I'm having a haircut. Okay. Or, are you having a good time? Something you can ask somebody if they come to your party. Are you having a good time? Okay. So you can look at all of these here. There's so many of them. Pay, save, right? Come close, come complete with, come direct, come early. And if you don't know what they mean, you can ask ChatGPT, or you can do a search online for examples, right? Now, some of these are British and some of these are American. Like, bang on time is more British But yeah. Anyway, there's a good list for you to get started. Okay? All right, let's see. Next question. Where does that leave us? Why is it not? What does that leave us? Carl, because when you say where does that leave us, it's kind of like, imagine you're on a journey. You're on a journey, and now you've stopped, and you're saying, well, where are we now? Like, let's look at the map, and let's see, where are we now? Now I want you to think about that figuratively, Carl. So when we say, where does that leave us? It's like we're talking about we're on a journey, we're on a mission, we're doing some sort of a task, and we're asking, where are we now? Have we gotten any progress? Have we made progress? Are we forward on the map? Okay, so it makes more sense where when you think about a figurative map. Okay? What universal values underlie true happiness? Pavel, wow. Let me think about crafting a proper answer. What universal values underlie true happiness? I think honesty and empathy. Those two. And I say that because my two favorite quotes that I guide my entire life by are the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which is kind of like empathy, right? Have empathy. Understand the feelings of others so that you treat them the way you want to be treated. That's empathy. Okay? And the other quote that guides my life is from Hamlet, this above all, to thine own self be true. Be true to yourself. Which means many things, but it's about being honest, that you can't have happiness if you're not honest about it. Right? In a fix, is this a common and good idiom? Yeah, sure. If he's in a fix, I'm in a fix means I have a problem, that I have some trouble right now. I'm dealing with a big problem. I'm in a fix. Okay? Why do we say if I were you and not just if I was you? This has always confused me. Well, that has to do with the rules of was and were. One moment, let me pull up my notes. So that's called the subjunctive mood. I hate these terms. They don't make it any clearer. The subjunctive mood is to describe hypothetical, untrue situations. So, when it is untrue, you're talking about something that's wished or imagined or not factual, right? So, for example, if I were a cat, I'd sleep all day in the sun. So, he wishes he were taller. I wish I were So, yeah. Now, you use was when you're describing a real event in the past. So the difference is were is used for hypothetical or unreal situations. If I were you, but I'm not you. Okay? So if I say if I was rude last night, that's real. That's why I say was. I don't say if I were rude last night. That's a real situation. You use was. Okay? But if I were 10 feet tall, I could see everything. That's not real. Okay? So it's all about, is it hypothetical or not? Antonio, you're saying you think that to have butterflies in your stomach is to be in love. You're not wrong. Having butterflies in your stomach is what we say when you have any nervousness. So it could be because you're in love. Yes, but it also could be because you have to give a speech or a performance or you have to talk to your boss or something. Okay? So butterflies in your stomach can be for any reason that makes you nervous, and love is one of them. Okay? What about in the nick of time? Sure, that one's fine. In the nick of time just means right at the very last minute you finished something. You did something before it was over, right? Before the time ended. Okay? Orenbeck, bury the hatchet is B-U-R-Y. Bury. To bury means to dig a hole in the ground. Yeah, B-U-R-Y. One R. Okay, Larry says, some native speakers do say if I was you. Yeah, right, but that doesn't mean it's correct. Right. So it's all about, there's proper English and there's common English. In common English, yes, you will hear people say if I was you sometimes, and it should be if I were you, right? Life is not a grammar test, okay? Nobody's there to correct you. Not usually, okay? So you're right, you will hear commonly many people say it incorrectly. You can't understand it at all, and you probably can't get a 5 in the IELTS. Well, people, 熟能生巧，加油. Hello, Toman. Nice to see you. Thank you. Does IELTS have high requirements for speaking? Well, yeah, if you want a good score. I'd be interested if you filled in several expressions that have different meanings depending on the punctuation. Ooh, that's a hard one. Okay, I'll give you the one that we always talk about, Johnny. Commas. Commas are very important. If you don't use a comma properly, it can change the meaning a lot. So, for example, if I say this, if I say, let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, comma, Grandma. I'm telling my grandma, let's come to dinner and eat. But if I take the comma out, now it's, let's eat, Grandma, which means now you are eating Grandma. Faisal, hello? Be patient. Be patient. I don't know what time I will be ending. Okay? And that's not correct. It should say, what time will it be ending? Or what time will this be ending? Or what time will your live stream be ending? Okay? But please be patient. Don't demand that I answer your questions. Okay? I don't like that. All right. Next question. Hello to everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the gifts. If you have a question, ask me. You're a bit confused pronouncing the first syllables of authenticity and audacity. It's aw, nagam. All, like AU is aw. It's almost the same like AWE, aw, like awesome. Okay, so authenticity, audacity. Like when you see a cute baby. What's the sound you make when you see a cute baby? Aw. Authenticity. Audacity. You're welcome, Gulzarish. Can I write this word? I'm not sure what word. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I can't keep up with the comments, so it's hard to know what you're asking me about. Okay, next, let's see. No, the topic is not Korean language proficiency. Why do you think that is the topic? The topic is English. I'm an English teacher. Yeah. I can say 안녕하세요. That's all I can say in Korean. Next question. You're wondering, is that majority saying representing right? Is it only standard? I think I know what you're trying to ask, Gayla. I think you're saying that if everybody says it wrong, does that mean it's right now? No. Not yet. Not yet. And why do I say not yet? Because, for example, when I was a boy, if you asked the question, how are you? If you replied, I'm good, that's wrong. When I was a boy, they told us that's wrong. No, you cannot say I'm good. Things are good. You are well. Okay, a person is well, not good. You're asking about the wellness of someone. Okay, so when I was a boy, the rule was if someone says, how are you? You should say, I'm well, not I'm good. But guess what? Over many, many, many years, with many people saying I'm good, now it's completely okay to say I'm good as a reply to how are you? The rules have now changed because, yes, enough people said that. Okay? So that's how language works. All right? So it's possible that the rule will change at some point, but it hasn't changed yet. And you should not think about it like that. You shouldn't think about it like, well, if everybody says it that way, then that must be right. Okay? Just because everybody does something doesn't mean it's right. Okay. Let's see. Is the punctuation the same in English than Spanish? I don't really know. I only know I've studied Spanish for 1 year. I can't say for sure that the rules in Spanish, I think so. I think the rules mostly for punctuation are the same. But in Spanish, you have some punctuation that we don't have in English, right? Like the upside down exclamation point or the upside down question mark, right? We don't do those in English, right? All right, let's see. Farah says, I have studied English for years, but I still struggle with it. Farah, learning a language is like learning piano. It takes a long time, and you have to keep at it. Okay? You have to keep at it. So, keep working on it. Treat your language like music. You want to make music with your words. Make music with your words. All right? If I say my name, should I say it in an Arabic style? Sure. If it's your name and that's how you want them to say it, then sure. Okay? Do I know a confused sentence? How's the enemy going on? Someone said it means, what about the time? That's not right. That does not mean anything. How's the enemy going on is not right. I think I know what they want to say, but that's not right. Don't believe anything you hear. Okay? Even the words I say, even the words that I say, you shouldn't just believe me. If I teach you something, the best thing you should do is check to see if I'm right. So, if I teach you something, ask ChatGPT the same thing and see what ChatGPT says. If I teach you something, ask another teacher. Ask another teacher if what I said is correct or not. All right? But don't just ask some guy or some girl. Okay? They don't know what they're talking about. Just because they speak English does not mean they know what they're talking about. All right? And maybe they're pulling a joke on you. Okay? How's the enemy going on? That's not right. No. That's no. Okay? Next. I've had someone who said, can I ask a question is wrong. May is better. So, right, Larry, that's what we call a semantic argument. Can has two possible meanings. Can could mean ability, or it could mean permission. So if a student asks me, can I go to the bathroom? Maybe I will tell them, I don't know, can you? Which is, I'm joking with them. I'm making them think about it. The better word is may, because may always is about permission. So, it's not wrong, it's semantically, well, I'll say it's semantics. It's semantics, okay? And the common accepted way is when you want to ask for permission, use may, because may is always for permission and may is more polite. Can could be less polite, and can also have a meaning of ni nung bunung, like ability to. Okay? All right, next question. How about I am fine? I am fine is okay. That's fine. Although, ZK, in China, everybody, when I say, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Like a robot you guys are. Don't be like a robot. Okay? So if somebody says, how are you? Try something different sometimes. I'm good, I'm great, I'm fine, I'm wonderful, I'm so-so, I'm fantastic, I'm okay, I'm not good. Okay, but if you always say, I'm fine, thank you, and you, I'm fine, thank you, and you, I'm fine, thank you, and you, it doesn't sound good. It sounds robotic. Okay? All right, let's see. So we can understand that well is the best answer when someone asks me, how am I? And now, Dennis, if someone asks you, how are you now, it's okay if you want to say, I'm good. I'm good is okay. It's acceptable now. all right? You can say I'm well. It's a little more formal to say I'm well, okay? Would I mind explaining what more? You're confused about the pronunciation of some words in the past, for example, worked. Oh, so Val, there are 3 different ways to pronounce ED words. Let me help you with something. Hello, Miguel. How are you, my friend? ED has 3 different pronunciations. Sometimes ED is pronounced like the letter D, okay? Sometimes the pronunciation of ED is like the letter T, like the one you just said, worked, or walked, okay? But there's also some where the pronunciation is ID, okay? So let me show you that. Why is it always so hard to find? One moment. Did I put this on my... I think I put this on my desktop, didn't I? Wait a minute. No, I did not. I'm sorry, I'm looking for something and I can't find it. And I will find it. Just give me a moment. Let's try this. I cannot find it. I'm so sorry. I hate when this happens. Woodward English, you're failing me now. All right, forget it. I can't find it. But that's the reason why, Val. You have to look up online for the rule. There's a rule, okay? And I can't explain it because it's too long to explain. There are too many letters that I have to tell you about. But there is a picture I cannot find that has a perfect explanation for this. Wait a minute. It's on my phone. Let me see if I can find it here. Come on. There it is. All right, I'm going to send it to my computer and then we'll look at it. Finally. Okay, I apologize for that. It'll be worth it. Just give me a second. here. Here we go. Look at this, please. All right, take a look. Pronunciation of ED words. Okay? Look, if the letter ends with T or D, then it's ID, like wanted or needed, id. Wanted, needed, id, ID. But if it ends with P, K, SH, CH, DH, TH, SS, C, or X, then it has a T sound, like helped, looked, washed, watched, laughed, breathed. Okay? Or this one here. Called, D has a D sound. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved. All right? So that's the rule. Take a picture, take a picture, take a picture. All right? Yes, thank you, Anne, for that. T and D, I knew that one, but I couldn't remember all these. All right. Okay, next, let me see. Please be patient. Let me go back and catch the comments. There are too many comments. All right. Please pronounce these two words. Question. 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 I have a question. Suggest. Suggest. Suggest has two G's. The first one is a hard G and the second one is a soft G. Sug. Jest. J. Okay? Govind, I don't recommend dictionaries for vocabulary. I recommend a dictionary, but not for learning vocabulary. Okay? Dictionary.com, dictionary.com, dictionary.com. Saying I'm not good in a conversation could mean you have to explain why that's the case, and most people don't have time, so they just say I'm fine. Larry, kind of, but let me explain it for you better, Larry. When we say how are you, if how are you is in the beginning of the conversation, then it's just part of our greeting. Just like ni hao. Ni hao is pretty much the same thing. Ni hao is you okay, you good, right? Ni hao is you good, right? So how are you is pretty much the same thing, all right? Now you're right. Most of the time when we ask, hey, how are you? We don't really want to know anything deeply. We're not asking a serious question. We're just greeting you, okay? But, Larry, if I talk to you for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then in the middle of my conversation, I stop and I ask you, Larry, how are you? Now I'm really asking the question, are you okay recently? Is everything okay recently? Okay? So if it comes at the beginning of the conversation, it's just part of the casual greeting and it doesn't really mean anything. But if we ask, how are you in the middle of the conversation, now it really means something. Okay? Okay, next question. When I read a book in English, should I translate every single word that is new? No. But you should choose a book that you can read. If the book has too many words to look up, that book is too hard for you. Okay? If you're choosing a book, that book on one page, there should be no more than 3 to 5 new words. Okay? If there are more than 5 new words, then that's probably too hard for you. Okay? At the most, 10 new words per page. But really, even that, if you have to stop to look at 10 words for every page, that's probably going to slow you down too much. You won't enjoy the reading. So, the rule I give my students is if you're choosing a book or something to read, the right level for you is when it has about 3 to 5 new words per page. No more than that. Okay? I don't agree with you. You know our Chinese teacher just like they don't know how to learn English themselves, so how can they teach us good English? Luke, what did I say about... I have no idea what you're talking about. When did I say anything? I'm confused. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But, Luke, I know a lot of Chinese teachers, okay? Chinese teachers who teach English. I know a lot of them. You are right that most of them don't have a really great ability, and so when they teach you, it's not as good as it could be. But Luke, a teacher is still a teacher. Teachers are not gods. They don't know everything. I am not a god. I don't know everything. And there are many teachers who are better than me. So, should you never learn from anybody unless they're the best teacher in the world? You should never learn unless you have the perfect teacher. Is that what you're saying? No. Guess what, Luke? I had many bad teachers, but I still learned. Do you know why? Because I was a good student. Sometimes. So, sometimes you can have a teacher who's not perfect, but you can still learn from them. All right? Don't just say, oh, well, every teacher in China is terrible because they don't speak perfect English. So what? Do they know more than you? If they know more than you, they can teach you something. That's all teaching is. That's all teaching is. All right? What part of the IELTS test do I find the hardest? I don't find any part of the IELTS test hard for me. It's different for everyone. Some people find the listening part is the most difficult part because they have trouble with listening. Some people find the writing or the speaking part are the most difficult parts because they have trouble with those. So it doesn't really matter what I think. What matters is what you think when you're taking the test, okay? The test itself is not really any different. There's no one part that's really much harder than the others, if that's what you're asking, okay? It really has to do with you, the student, okay? Okay, Ornella was sharing something there on the Google. Sometimes I get so lost in the conversation because I see comments that I don't know what you guys are commenting on anymore. In America, is it considered rude to not wear black when attending a funeral? I often see colorful clothing in shows. I would say it is rude. If you're going to a funeral, your fashion is not important. If you're going to a funeral, you wear black and you wear something conservative that does not draw attention to you, because a funeral is not about you. So I think if you've seen people like that, that's not a good thing. That's somebody who's not self-aware. That's somebody who doesn't have a sense of etiquette, proper etiquette. Okay? Hello, Fernando. If you want to have classes with me, Fernando, you can go to my website, which is right here. You can send me a private message and you can go look at my website. Okay, so send me a private message, okay, about lessons. And you can go look at my website right there and you can see the lesson plans and lesson packages there. All right, Fernando? Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. You don't understand why you can understand me, but you can't understand a TV program. You can understand me because I am a teacher. I'm a teacher. It's my job to speak well. Okay, that's one reason why. The second reason why is because, Val, my accent is called the Midland, Ohio accent. America has about 30 accents in total, okay, about 30. And my accent is one of the easiest to understand, okay? It's one of the easiest. It's the closest to IPA pronunciation, okay? The way I pronounce things is very close to IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, okay? Another reason why you understand me is because I try to use simple language most of the time, and I try to speak slowly most of the time. Okay, about 10% slower than normal. Okay? And the other final reason why you understand me is because I'm using really good equipment to make sure the quality of sound is the highest quality. Okay? All right. Thank you, Mohammed. I mean, many Chinese people who are learning English replies with the greeting, "How are you?" They reply with, "I'm fine," which is just from the teacher. Oh, right, Luke, I know that. Yeah, okay. So I know what you mean, Luke. And so I think you got upset that I was saying everybody says that. I was making a minor joke, all right, Luke? Because when you teach English, I did teach English over there, okay? And when you hear the robotic responses and you hear that they're learning English not like a language, but they're learning it like rules. They're learning it like rules, because when you say the same thing over and over, it's because you think it's a rule. It's like a rule. So you say, "I'm fine, thank you," and you, "I'm fine, thank you," and you, because it's almost like you feel like that's what you're always supposed to say. Okay? So you're right. Sometimes, because the teachers don't know any better, they don't know. That's why they hire us to come teach, because we know. All right? Okay. Ivan, did you go to my website? On my website, Ivan, if you sign up for my website, which is right here, go subscribe to my website. On my website, there's a link called Resources, and it's free. All of this is free. You just have to subscribe, okay? But once you subscribe, you can click Resources. And on Resources, there's another button called IELTS and TOEFL. And you can click on that, and there are many, many resources for studying the IELTS or TOEFL, okay, on my website. You want to be fluent in English. Everybody here wants to be fluent in English. I know, you want to be fluent. Everybody does. I'm a teacher. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I have 84,000 followers. I am a real English teacher. It's my job. Come watch. Come follow. Here's my website. Here's my YouTube. Here's my blog. I also have a podcast. Okay? Have I studied Russian? Not really, no. I know a few words. I can say privyet, da, niet, povrushta, and what's the other one? Povrushta and das svidaniya. So I only know a few words. A few words. Что? I know that one. Okay, next. Suggest. It should always be suggest, Larry. Suggest. It should have a hard G and a soft G. Suggest. Okay? Larry, I think you're talking about just like the mistakes that the Chinese teachers makes, I guess. Thank you, Naldi. Again, I know, Larry, but Larry, I want you to think about it the way I thought about music, okay? I'm a drummer, all right? And my first drum teacher, he wasn't the best drum teacher ever, but he was good. He could teach me some things, and he did. I learned some good things from him. There were some things I learned from him that weren't so good, but there were many things I learned that were good. And then I tried to find a better teacher. The next teacher, I tried to get a better one. And I learned great things from that teacher. But maybe one or two things from that teacher also not so good. And then I got another teacher, and I tried to get an even better teacher. Right? So you always look for the better teacher if you can. But in the beginning, something is something. Something is something, Larry. All right? It doesn't have to be perfect for it to be good. Don't let good be the enemy of perfect. Okay? Oh. No mistakes about what I don't know. I suggest could be, should be, didn't know. Well, yeah. Okay. But Larry, I don't correct every single thing that people write. So if you write something and I understand it, I'll probably say okay. Like I'm not going to correct you every single time. I correct a lot, but not every time. All right? Every good teacher knows this. You shouldn't correct every time. Okay? If you do, you make learning unbearable. All right? So what I do is I wait for the right moments to correct people. Okay? When I feel it's best and most useful. Okay. Would anyone like to come chat? Would anyone like to come talk to me? Would you like to come ask me a question on stage? If you would like to, you can. What is my best advice to learn English? Follow me. Naldi, I have been teaching here for about 5 years, and I've done more than 2,000 hours of live streaming. And most of that is on my YouTube. Okay? So, every question that I can answer, I already have answered. They're on my YouTube channel. But you have to go look for it. Okay? I have a job. My job is being a teacher. My job is not being a YouTube master. Okay? So I don't have time to sit down and edit all of these videos to make one little clip for you because you're lazy and you like TikTok. If you really want the knowledge, then you'll get the knowledge. But these days, people are way too lazy, and unless it comes in a 1-minute clip, they won't listen. And guess what? If you won't listen, then I don't want to give it to you. If you don't have the patience to learn, I don't have the patience to teach. Okay? So my advice would be follow me, follow me, follow me. Go watch some of my videos, make some notes, and pay attention, because there are many concepts that I teach about English that are very different than things you've heard before. Okay? There are many concepts that I teach. Okay, how should we call a university teacher? Professor or teacher? Mohana, in most cases, professor. But in most cases, you can ask. It's a good idea to ask. Excuse me, how should I address you? Would you prefer that I address you as professor, or as ma'am, or sir, or miss, or teacher? You can ask. People don't do that enough, but you should. How would you prefer that I address you? That's the question you want to ask. How would you prefer that I address you? Okay? Okay. Hello, Andre from Brazil. Hola. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're learning. See, that's good. I like that kind of comment. He knows he's just listening and taking notes and trying to learn. Good for you. Anwar, if you want to chat, Anwar, you have to raise your hand. You have to raise your hand, Anwar. Okay? Larry says, I have lots of passive vocabulary. I can understand words natives say, but when I want to express the same thing on my own, I just can't remember. It's so frustrating. But, Larry,每天在你的脑里，你用什么文？你用什么音乐？那不是音乐。Oh, I forgot the word for language. I need to eat. I know I'm not thinking well when I can't eat, or when I can't think. 语言. So, Larry, 如果你常常忘记，这是因为你不常用，因为你觉得你需要说话，你不需要，需要想的，不需要说话的 ，OK？ 听得懂吗？I can keep my Chinese happening. I can keep my Chinese fresh. I can keep working on my Chinese because I keep thinking in Chinese. Okay? Because I keep thinking in Chinese, I can use it. Sometimes in English, sometimes you forget unconsciously. Right, that's what I'm trying to say. So you need to remember every day, okay? When you watch TV, try to think in English a little bit. When you go to the park, try to think in English a little bit. When you make food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, try to think in English a little bit. When you go to the store, try to think in English a little bit. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And if you're always thinking in English, you're always using the words, that means you will remember them when you want to speak. Okay? You will remember them when you want to speak. Yes, how would you prefer that I address you, Mahana? That's right. What am I having for lunch today? Julian, last night I went to a Malaysian restaurant, a really delicious Malaysian restaurant, and I have some leftover food from last night at the Malaysian restaurant, and I also have some leftover food from another restaurant from a Uyghur restaurant that we ate at recently. So I'm going to have for lunch today a combination of Chinese, Malaysian, and Uyghur Chinese food. In order to get a high score on the IELTS or TOEFL, is it absolutely necessary to go abroad and study for training? No. It's not absolutely necessary. No, of course not. There are many, many people who have done it without leaving. You can do it. You just have to make a better plan. All right? Can I speak Turkish? I can say merhaba. I remember that one. You're thinking every word you say, how to say them in English. Is that right? Right. Yeah. Right. So, 明天,如果你很饿,你需要想 I'm hungry. 明天,如果你很累,你需要想 I'm tired. Okay? 如果你要去商店,你需要想 I need to go to the store. Okay? Miriam says this is Arabic, not Turkish. But if I remember correctly, Miriam, I believe merhaba is both Arabic and Turkish. Am I correct on that? Ephraim? That's what I thought. Ha! I also know a little bit of Arabic. Okay. Hello, Sophia. Okay, Sophia wants to talk to me. Okay, great. Let's talk to Sophia. Can I make a level test for my followers? Anwar, if you just go to ChatGPT and talk to ChatGPT for an hour, Anwar, it will tell you what level you are. Hello, Sophia. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. And you're in China where? In what city?
Zhuhai.
Zhuhai. Okay, great. And how can I help you today? Do you have a question for me or something I can help you with?
No, I just want to talk with you.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about?
Just talk. Did you ever been China?
Yes, kind of. I lived in Taiwan for 4.5 years.
Taiwan?
Yeah, I lived in Taiwan for 4.5 years. I've been to Hong Kong many times, but I've never been to the mainland yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zhuhai is very near the Hong Kong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know where it is. I just have never been there. But Hong Kong, I loved Hong Kong. It was great. I loved it. Yeah.
Okay, so what about you? Which city you live?
I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the middle of the United States.
Okay, Ohio, I know.
Yeah. So.
Somebody asked me, said, "Oh."
Yeah, I know. That's what people do. That's because everybody else is awake. You know, that everybody forgets that there are many time zones here. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I know it's nighttime.
Yes.
It's nighttime there. It's late. It's almost midnight.
Yes, it's midnight. I can't sleep, so I open the Hello Talk to find someone to talk. I can't sleep.
I understand. I've done that before many times too. Yeah. So, I think your English sounds pretty good.
Really? I don't think so. I just a little bit.
I understand what you're saying. That's all that matters.
And because my job is about chat with foreign people.
你做什么工作？
You can speak Chinese very good. My job is foreign trade.
Okay. I was going to guess foreign trade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then you have to talk to many people around the world in English. Yeah.
Yes, but because it's no long time for this job, so
Ah, okay. All right. But that's good because now you have more opportunity to practice your English. So that's good.
I want to improve my spoken English more and more. How can I say? Frequently.
Right. So what I tell everybody, Sophia, is I have one big secret. Okay. 一个很特别的密码. Language starts with thinking.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, thinking.
So you have to learn how to think in the language you're learning. So when I was learning Chinese, for many years, when I was learning Chinese, I would think in English and then funny translate everything into Chinese. That's not the way. That's not the way. That's too slow. That's too slow. And you're not really speaking the language if you're not thinking the language. So, for example, if you are from Switzerland, do you know Switzerland? Switzerland 就是瑞士.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so Switzerland. If you live in Switzerland, many people from Switzerland, they speak many languages natively, right? They know French, they know Italian, they know German, right? They know Swiss, they know a bunch of languages, right? Many. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. So if you're from Switzerland, when you speak German, do you think in German or do you think in another language? Of course, they think in the same, right? So if you're from Switzerland, if you're speaking German, you're thinking in German. If you're speaking Italian, you're thinking in Italian. If you're speaking French, you're thinking in French. That's the way a native person would do it. So it's very strange that when we teach language, we only teach reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But we don't tell anybody, you need to think in English too. You must think in English. But if you never spend time thinking in English, you'll never be comfortable with English. Okay?
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you.
So, for example, I live in America, so I can't practice Chinese very often, right? But I do because I think in Chinese every day. Just when I do,
Every day?
yeah, and when I do anything, if I do anything, 如果我看电视，我可以想，这是中文，我可以想，哦，我喜欢他，我觉得他很好笑。Okay, like I just think simple things. Or maybe I'm at the store. I go to the store and I think, oh, 这个就是买完了，这个是很贵，为什么是说非常贵？ You know, I just think simple things, right? All day when I'm just doing my normal life. I just live my life, but I change the language up here. That means that I'm just doing my daily life, but I'm practicing. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But when you see something, you want to talk, you want to speak in Chinese, but you don't know the word. You don't know Chinese word. How can you say? You will Google.
I use a dictionary, yeah. Or I'll ask somebody, you know.
Yeah.
这个中文怎么说? Yeah. I ask it all the time. 这个中文怎么说?这个中文怎么说?这个中文怎么说?
Yes. Sometimes I think I don't know the many English words. I need to Google. I just a little lazy, you know. It's every too
Okay.
many words I need
Yeah.
to Google.
But that's why this is a good way. I know in the beginning, it's going to feel very hard because, yes, when you look around, I remember when I first started Chinese and I didn't know the name of anything in my room. So how can I can't think because I don't know the name of anything. But then you start learning, oh, TV, 电视. Ah, okay. Window, 窗户. Oh, okay. Door, 门, right? Oh, okay. I know some words now. And once you remember them because you spend time with them, you have to spend time with them. Sophia, here's what I tell people. Words are just like people. If you spend time with them, you will remember them. If you don't spend time with them, you won't remember them. So if I see you in your city and we walk by each other, but we don't say anything, you're not going to remember me and I'm not going to remember you. If I stop and I say hello to you, you'll remember me for a little while, maybe a few hours or a day. If we talk for 20 minutes, you'll remember me for a few weeks, maybe a month. If we sit down and have lunch and we talk for a couple of hours, you will remember me forever.
Yeah.
Words are the same. Why do you forget words? Because you don't spend any time with them. You memorize them. The most common way of learning words is memorizing. But guess what? The worst way to learn words is also memorizing. Why? Memorizing is short-term learning. It works short-term. It will help you learn a word for tomorrow. If you have to take the test tomorrow, then memorizing will work. But if you want to remember that word forever, memorizing does not work. There's a rule in learning. The faster you learn, the faster you forget. The slower you learn, the slower you forget. It's
interesting.
It's all about deep learning. If you're doing shallow learning is like memorizing. It's very shallow. It's not deep. You're not really going deep. So what do I say when I mean deep? Like, for example, Sophia, if you have to learn the word, let me think of a good one. One moment. Let me find a good example for you. Yeah, let's see. If you have to learn, oh, I know. So let's do the word procrastinate. Do you know the word procrastinate? Procrastinate. It means to wait to do something. You're supposed to do it now, right? You have homework. You should do it now. But you say, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. That's procrastination. Okay?
I know. Okay.
就是那个耽搁，对不对？耽搁吗？
耽搁是什么意思？
就是耽搁，就我的就是说，
耽搁，
对，耽搁，拖延 ，OK， 好，拖延还是延迟还是耽搁？对，差不多，对 ，OK，so right, procrastinate, the word pro means forward, okay, and the word crass, C-R-A-S, it means tomorrow. So procrastinate means forward tomorrow. It means wait till tomorrow. Just wait till tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow. And now you can go look, and there are many English words that have the letters pro, P-R-O. Many English words have pro in them, and that meaning is forward. How about P-R-E? Do you know any word in English that has the letters P-R-E? Pre.
Pre, 提前, yeah.
Yeah, like you can think like preview, right? Or pre-test, or pre-read, right? All of those prepare, right? P-R-E means before. It means before. So any word that has P-R-E in it, you can say, oh, well, this probably means something before. Okay? Something before, all right? This is deep learning, okay? Let me give you another example. How about the word, this one's going to be hard. This is a difficult word. Sabotage. Do you know the word sabotage? It's a very difficult word. Yeah. Sabotage in Chinese. That's okay. That's okay. So, sabotage in Chinese 就是破坏, 破坏. Okay?
Why?
It means to break something. It means to break something. Like you want to stop somebody, so you're going to break their stuff. That's sabotage. Okay? So, where does this word come from? A long time ago, there was I think it was in Belgium, there was a factory that made shoes. Wooden shoes. Shoes of wood. Okay? 就是木头的鞋子. Okay? And they were very unhappy. They thought we need more money. You need to pay us more money. We're not happy. We don't want to work anymore. So what they did was they took their wooden shoes, the shoes that they make, they put the shoe in the machine, and it broke the machine. The wooden shoes broke the machine, and now the machines are broken and they can't make more. That's called sabotage. Why is it called sabotage? Because the wooden shoe is called a sabot. S-A-B-O-T. So that's where the word sabotage comes from. So what I'm saying, so what I mean is many English words have an interesting story about where they come from, right? And if you learn that interesting story, it's deep. And if it's deep, you'll remember. Okay? Osama says sabotage is a French word. Right. That's what I said. But I think that the story, if I remember right, comes from Belgium. Let me check. Let me make sure. I could be wrong. It might be from France. I know it's a French word, but I mean, I think the story, if I recall... let me see. From... Oh, this doesn't say. Okay, so it might be in France. I thought I remembered reading an article that said it was a Belgian factory, but I could be wrong. But it's definitely it's a French word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said it would take me 5,000 hours.
Many English words come from French.
Yes.
And come from years. Sila.
Right. Yeah. Greek. Yeah. So. Right.
Greek.
60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 30% come from French. 20% come from German. We have many English words that come from Arabic and Spanish and Italian and Persian and Chinese and Japanese too. English, yeah, like in America. 对啊, yeah. 我们常常说好久不见, long time no see. We say long time no see all the time. That's Chinese, right? And you have 你们常常用筷子. We say chopsticks. Chop means quick. Chopsticks means quick sticks. That's what it means.
Oh, yeah. That's in China.
Chop.
China.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, chip. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There are many words. The word ketchup. 番茄酱. The word ketchup is actually from a South Chinese word, ketchup, which was a fish sauce a long time ago. It's a long story. But so Miriam said, this will take me 5,000 hours to learn new words. Okay. Yes.
So funny.
But listen, let me tell you why you shouldn't think that way. I'll tell you why. Because every single day when I'm here, somebody comes here and says, how can I learn words better? I forget them. I memorize them, but then I forget them. Every day somebody says that to me here. Do you know why? Because everybody is out there learning words just by memorizing. And because you're learning just by memorizing, you forget. So you remember, then you forget. Then you do it again, and you remember, then you forget. Then you memorize it again, then you remember, then you forget. So, which one is more work? The one you have to do one time, and you remember forever, or the one you have to do a bunch of times, because you always forget. So,
Actually, Actually, I hate to memorizing the words.
Good. So me too. I hate memorizing too. I always tell everybody memorizing is the worst way to learn. Okay?
Yeah.
But there are deeper ways to learn that if you do it one time deeply, you're done forever and you know it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. So the difference is memorizing is boring. So
Very boring.
yeah.
Very boring.
So do you know what memorizing is? Memorizing is it's learning by torture. Torture means you're trying to hurt somebody. You're trying to hurt somebody. That's torture. Okay? So memorizing is basically like torturing your brain to remember. Okay? But that's why it doesn't work. Okay? Let me teach you another one. Like the word disaster. Do you know the word disaster?
Disaster.
Yeah, so like an earthquake, 地震, that's a disaster, right? Or typhoon, that's a disaster, typhoon, right? So the word disaster is an interesting word. A long time ago, if you had an earthquake 1,000 years ago, what did you think, like, why did you think it happened? Why did everybody think an earthquake happened 1,000 years ago? They all thought
I have no idea.
they all thought the gods must be angry. The gods are angry. The gods are mad at us. They made an earthquake. The gods. Okay, and when they thought of the gods, who did they think of? They looked up, right? And what do you see when you look up? What do you see at night? Stars.
Star, yeah.
Right? So the word disaster, D-I-S, it means bad. Dis means
Yeah.
bad, okay? And
Dis.
the letters A-S-T-R, disaster, A-S-T-E-R, that means star.
Star?
Yeah, so disaster, it means bad star.
Okay.
Why? Why does it mean bad star? Because they believed that when you had a typhoon, when you had an earthquake, when you had a flood, when some big bad thing happened, it was because the gods were angry. And where are the gods? They're in the stars. That's where the gods are, in the stars. So disaster means bad star. That's a cool story. And when you hear that, then you go, oh, I'll remember that word forever. Okay? So, and I'll tell you what, the other thing is the letters D-I-S mean bad in many, many words. There are many words. So that's the other reason why this system is actually more efficient. Because when you memorize a word, you only learn one. But if I teach you this way, you can learn one root word that will have many, many other words. Okay? So like disable. Dis means not. Able means can do it, right? So disable means not able. Right?
Yeah.
Disaster. So many dis words. So this is a more efficient way to learn. And more interesting. And you would be surprised how many English words have an interesting story. So many of them do. Okay?
How can I know their stories?
Okay, good question. Well, one, you can watch me because this is my hobby. I have been learning about this since I was
Yeah.
15 years
So
old.
I can ask you every day?
Well, I do live streams almost every day, and I do a live stream all about this topic. About once every 2 weeks, maybe, I do a live stream about this. It's called etymology. Etymology is the history of words, where they come from, and how they've changed over time. That's called etymology, and it happens to be my hobby. It's a hobby of mine. So I teach about etymology all the time. There are...
You have YouTube? You have YouTube?
I do have a YouTube. Yeah, I have a website, I have a YouTube, I have a blog, I have many things. Here is my website, and here is my YouTube, and here is my blog.
Okay.
Okay?
Your blog and you have a LinkedIn?
Do I have a what?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. No, I don't do LinkedIn. Don't do that.
Facebook.
I have a Facebook, but I don't really use it right now for my promotion for anything. So right now I'm just on those. Okay. Here, if you want
Okay.
this is everything right here. If you go to that link tree has
Okay.
everything. Okay.
I noted.
Okay. So, Sophia, I need to let you go because I need to talk to some other people here today. But it was nice to talk to you, and I hope you learned something. Okay.
Thank you. You're kind.
You're welcome, and come back and see me sometime. I'm here all the time. I've been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I've been on live streams for 5 years. I've done more than 1,200 live streams for more than 2,000 hours of teaching.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have about 48. Wait, man, how many? 84,000 followers around the world.
Wow.
So come watch.
Yeah, I will back.
Okay, take care, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye bye, Sophia.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Okay, let's see. Let me go back and check to see if I missed any comments. Is English easier than Chinese? I don't think it's really valuable to talk about language like that. Is rock and roll easier than jazz? Some people say yes, I say no. I say that they're both difficult in different ways. So Chinese is difficult in a different way than English is difficult. Okay, they're both easy or difficult in different ways. Okay? Practicing writing, it helps you how to think in English or which language you want. So yeah, writing and reading. Reading is one of the best ways to practice your English thinking. Okay, so practice reading and writing, but reading especially. Okay, next question. Let's see. I'm sorry. Here's Heini Mu again. Hello, Heini Mu.
Thank you so much.
You're
Hi.
welcome. I'm sorry I didn't see you request to come on stage.
It's okay. Yeah.
So what can I do for you today?
From yesterday, I can start thinking in English, and then I can start learning English. Here, one guy add me, and then we start our talk.
Uh-huh.
I already told him my name is blah blah blah. I'm a teacher, blah blah blah, and then I start ask him about for his some information. What's your name? And then I ask him, what do you do for a living? He reply me, you are so inquisitive.
Okay.
The question is, am I?
No, you're not. No. That's a pretty standard question. That's a very normal question. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you ask somebody, what is your job or what do you do? That's a pretty normal question. But you need to remember when you use Hello Talk, you're talking to people from all over the world, and everybody has a different idea of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and what's forward and what's not forward, and what's too much and what's not too much, right? So there are some people on Hello Talk who they're not really here for learning. They're here just to chat or to talk or to flirt. There are a lot of guys here only for flirting, okay?
Oh.
And you need to remember that. Just that's social media. That's every social media, okay? If you put girls here and guys here, the guys are going to want to flirt with the girls, all right? That's just how it works. But it's easy to figure out who's serious and who's not, okay? All you have to do is engage them in a conversation that's a good conversation, which you were doing. You were having a good conversation. You were asking normal questions. And he called you too inquisitive. It's a great word. I love that word. Inquisitive means somebody who asks a lot of questions.
Yeah, actually, I learned this word from him. Yeah.
It's funny. I learned that word when I was in the 3rd grade because when I came home from school, I had a report card and it said, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, it says Mark is a very inquisitive young man. What does inquisitive mean? And my mom says, it means you ask too many questions. And so, anyway, yeah, no, it's a good word. But what I would say is Hainimu, do you go fishing at all? Do you go fishing? Fishing. Do you know fishing?
Fishing.
Yeah.
Yes, I go.
Okay. All right. So Hello Talk is like fishing. All right. When you go fishing, you need to have many things. One thing you must have is patience. You have to have a lot of patience when you go fishing because you're going to be there for many hours and you have to throw that line out many, many times, right? You can't just throw it out one time. If you only throw it out one time, you only have one chance. But if you throw it out many times, you have many chances, right? So when I ask people, you know, do you talk to people? Do you send messages? And they say, yeah, I talk to a lot of people. And I say, how many? And they say, well, like I talk to like 5 people. That's not a lot. That's not a lot, okay? Like you have to talk to 500 people. So I know it's crazy. That's a big number, but this is how success works on social media. It's by numbers. So if you want to catch a lot of fish, you have to be patient, you have to have a lot of time, and you have to send out a lot of messages. And then the other thing about fishing, if I go fishing, but I have no bait. What is bait, everybody? Do you guys know what bait is? Bait means the food for the fish. The bait is the food for the fish, right? So when I throw that out, I have a hook. There's a hook. And I have to put bait on the hook. I have to put a worm or something on the hook, right? If I don't have any bait, no fish is going to bite my hook, right? So guess what? On Hello Talk, every day people are fishing with no bait. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because every day I have many messages. People send me a message, and do you know what the message is? Here's my message. People say, that's it. That is no bait. There's no bait. You waved to me. You said hi. That is not bait. I'm not biting at that. I'm not going to bite. That's not a good thing. So what I mean is, if you want someone to reply to you, you have to send a message that someone would want to reply to. So you have to say, hi, my name is Hainimu, I'm from China. And then you can say, I read your profile. I see that you like movies. I like movies too. What's your favorite movie? Or, I read your profile. I see that you like cooking. I like cooking too. Can you tell me your favorite recipe? That is good bait. If you write a comment like that, someone will want to reply. But if you just say, hi, that's fishing with nothing. You're fishing with no bait. Of course no fish are biting. You have no bait. So that's why Hello Talk is like fishing. You have to message a lot of people. And then you have to have good bait. Okay? And then sometimes when I go fishing, sometimes I catch a good fish that's like, oh, that's a good one. I want to bring that one home and eat it. Sometimes you catch a bad fish. or sometimes you catch a log, you know, or a rock. Okay? It's not what you want. That's Hello Talk. There are many rocks, there are many logs, there are many bad fish. Okay, so if you want the good fish, you have to be patient, you have to have good bait, and you have to throw out that line a lot. Okay, so I tell people that 10% is the rule. So if you send out 100 messages, maybe 10 people will reply. Maybe. And then, of those 10 people, maybe 2 or 3 will be good partners. Okay, that is social media. That is Hello Talk. That's the way it works. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm so lucky met you, teacher.
Yeah, so the secret to Hello Talk is patience and persistence. Be persistent. And if you talk to people seriously in a serious way and they don't speak to you in that same way, then you know that they're not a serious partner. Right? Now, not everybody is going to be a serious partner. There are some people on Hello Talk who just want to chat. They don't want to be serious. They just want to talk. And that's okay too. Okay? But another mistake that many people make on Hello Talk is they think that Hello Talk is a place to find a free teacher. It's not. Okay? Other than me. Other than me, it's not a place to find a free teacher. It's a place to find a friend. Okay? So another mistake that people make is when they message somebody on Hello Talk, they say, "Hi, my name is Zoe. Will you teach me English?" So let me ask you a question. If I walked up to you in your city, I don't know you and you don't know me, and I walk up to you and I say, "Hi, my name's Mark. Will you teach me Chinese?" Don't you? That would be that would be very weird because I don't know you. But if we become friends and we start talking, then maybe after a few weeks, I could say, "Hey, will you teach me Chinese?" And then you will say, "Yeah, I would love to teach you Chinese."
My pleasure.
That's right. So the other mistake people make on Hello Talk is they think that they're going to find a free teacher. That they're just going to say, "Hi, will you teach me?" No! No.
Sorry.
Hello Talk is a place where you can find a friend, and a friend will want to help you. But first, you must make a friend. That's the secret to Hello Talk. You have to understand. You can find great help, but you have to find friends first. And then your friends will help you. Okay?
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so just be patient and keep looking. And if somebody says something like, "You're too inquisitive," just move on. Just move on. Just find another fish.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, I got it.
All right, and
Okay.
by the way, I wanted to tell you that that lagman, oh my God, it was so delicious. So yummy.
Really?
Oh my God,
You
yeah,
like it?
yeah, it was really delicious. Yeah. The spices were so different. Like I've never had those spices before. So it was spicy. It was spicy. It was a little spicy, but the flavor was very unique, very special, and I really liked
The
it.
top Panjin Lagman is so famous
Yeah.
in our country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so
And
good.
next time you must be try Goyoro Lagman.
Okay, all right. I will write it down. I will try because I want to go back there. Yeah, my nephew goes to school up near that restaurant, so I can go visit him and we can go have lunch there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
his roommate, my nephew's roommate, is Muslim, so it's perfect. Like because he needs a place to eat, like a halal. He needs halal food, so this is a good restaurant for him. So it's funny because
Yeah.
my nephew his roommate is Muslim, and he didn't know about this restaurant. So my nephew showed him this restaurant. He thought that was, wow, you're showing me a Muslim restaurant. That's great. Like, wow, that's cool. So yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah.
It was wonderful. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit more, Honeymoon. You are fine. You just need to remember that Hello Talk is social media. Social media has everybody on it. Okay? So
Okay.
if you want to find the good ones, you have to take time to find the good ones. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Keep
Wonderful.
learning.
Yeah, that's right. Keep learning. All right. But don't be discouraged. Just remember, it's like fishing. It's like fishing, okay? All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Honeymoo. I will see you next time then, okay? It was a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Take
okay.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Let me check the comments here. Govind says, "I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but now you're saying memorizing is worse. But earlier, a live streamer suggested memorizing." Okay, Govind, guess what? In this world, Govind, you can now find someone who will suggest anything you want. Every answer is on the internet. So if you like this answer, you can find somebody who will say, oh, this answer is the right answer. But if you like this other answer, you can find another person on the internet who will say this answer is the right answer. So you can find someone who will say anything. All right? But what matters is data. What matters is experience. Okay? And I have experience, a lot of it, okay? And I have data, a lot of it. And if you look at the data about learning, all the data shows that memorizing only works well for short-term learning. Okay? So I tell people memorizing is the worst way to learn, especially if it's the only way you learn. And that's what most people do. Most people, they only memorize. That's all they do. They don't have a further process. They don't have more. They do that, and that's it. And that is why it does not work. If you memorize as this first step, but you have many other steps, okay, fine. Then you can memorize as one technique that you use in many techniques. But if you are only using memorizing, then no. Go read the data. Go read the data. Ask ChatGPT. Say, is memorizing the best way to learn? Can you show me the data that says it is or it is not? It will show you. Okay? And Govind, please remember, again, anyone can say anything. That doesn't make it true. That's why you have to have a critical mind to be able to make those judgments. Okay? When someone asks a question related to idioms, but see, there's one example. Idioms, and there are a couple of situations where I do recommend memorizing. For example, I do recommend memorizing a little bit for phrasal verbs or idioms or collocations. Okay? For those three, memorizing can help a little bit. But I still think deeper ways, deeper methods of learning are better. Deeper methods will work better. Okay? Okay. I guess 90% of people don't know what is bait. They don't know how to lure. I don't know how they live there. And I know, Vadim, it's really, really sad. I forgot. I was supposed to write an article about that, Vadim, and you just reminded me. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. I want to write an article all about the lost art of the introduction. That you can call me old if you want to call me old. Go ahead, call me old. But guess what? All you young people, you don't know how to introduce yourselves. And it's a big problem. You're so used to the internet that no one introduces themselves anymore. Right? Everybody just comments without introducing themselves. So you're talking to strangers all the time, and you never introduce yourself. And you don't know how much a difference it makes. You don't know. You have no idea how much you're missing because you don't introduce yourself well. Okay? Okay, let's see. Not too shabby. That's a good one. Yo, sir. That's a good one. Okay, hello to all the new people. I'm trying to catch up. Hello, Chloe. Good to see you again. Which methods for instant? There are no methods for instant. Okay? If you want to learn things instantly, you have to be a computer. You are not a computer. That means you must have a method. You must learn with a method. You need a process. Okay? How old am I? I am older than the flowers and younger than the mountains. I think she means, for example. Which methods, for instance? Ah, you're right, Julian. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I didn't catch that. Which methods work best, you mean for learning? If you're talking about which methods work for learning, Carolina, is that right? I want to make sure I have this clear. Okay, good. Which methods work best for learning is a personal thing. There is no one answer that's ever the right answer. Why? Because everybody's different. So, the methods that work best are the ones that, let me put it to you this way. If I give you one knife, that's a knife, and it has some value as a tool, right? But if I give you a pocket knife has many, many tools. It has a big knife and a small knife and a corkscrew and a screwdriver and a little thing to start fire and a poker. It has a bunch of tools, right? So the more methods you have, the more success you could get. Some methods work better for this, but another method will work better for that. So you need many methods. You need to know a lot of different ways. And then you can use which way that works best at that moment. Okay? So, some people are visual learners. Some people are auditory learners. Some people learn better with written repetition. Some people learn better with more creative methods like videos or some kind of exciting thing to listen to, right? There are many, many different methods that you can use, and they're all useful in different ways. There's a big mistake that many people make when they're trying to learn. You think that there's one way that's the best way. You're wrong. There is never only one way that's the best way for everything. There are many ways, and sometimes one works better and sometimes one doesn't. But if you know them all, then you can use the one you need at that moment. Okay? Okay, let's see who wants to come on the stage. First, we've got Vadim. Vadim, always good to talk to Vadim. Let's talk to Vadim. This is American English. Yes. Hello, Vadim. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Mark. Hello. You know that I do like your live streams. Why? Because they are like a concert, and they are so live. They are so energetic. But it is only my short remark about your live streams. I have two questions about some English words. You know that I have tried to ask this question in two different live streams. I have asked this question um, uh, in live streams of other people like Moses and some another man. Anyway, I don't know why they didn't answer to my question. Maybe they considered them like something offensive. I don't know. But I remember that you mentioned one word, jackass. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you to explain the difference between four words: jackass, moron, jerk, and golfy ball.
Okay, so the first one, so we had jerk and moron and what was it?
Jerk,
Jerk,
moron,
moron, jackass, right? Jackass, and what was the last one?
and golfy ball.
Golf ball, golfy ball.
Golfy ball.
Oh, I think you mean goofball.
Maybe.
Maybe goofball. I think you mean goofball. Let's start with goofball. Goofball comes from the word goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Goofy is a Disney character, right? Goofy. Hi, Mickey. That's Goofy. I used to do a pretty good Goofy impersonation. That's Goofy. He's a weird character. He's very funny. So, goofball, if I call somebody a goofball, that means you're funny, you're weird. Don't be a goofball. Don't be weird. Don't be silly. It's not strong at all. If I say he's a goofball, it's not strong. It's a lighthearted comment, He's goofy, It could mean, occasionally, if I say he's a little goofy, it might mean he's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll know based on the way they say it, right? If they say, oh, he's goofy, like a positive thing, then it's fun, it's not bad. But if you say, oh, he's a little goofy, that's like, I don't know about that guy, he's a little weird. Okay? So I think you're talking about the word goofy. All right? Yeah, goofy. That's right. You're goofy. Yeah. And then we have jerk. A jerk is a bad person. It's not a strong word at all, right? So, when I was a little boy, you're not allowed to use bad words when you're a kid, right? But you're allowed to use the word jerk, right? So you say, my brother, he's such a jerk. My brother's a jerk, right? So jerk just means a bad person or somebody you don't like. They're a jerk. He's a jerk. He's mean. I don't like him. He's not nice. He's a jerk. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's all that means. Just a not nice person is a jerk. Okay? And then moron means a stupid person. He's a moron. That's a dumb, that's idiot. Idiot. The same. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? So a moron is just a dumb person. He's a moron. That means he's really dumb. He's stupid. Okay? And it's pretty strong. That one's pretty strong. Like, if I say you're dumb, that's strong. If I say you're stupid, that's stronger. If I say you're a moron, that's up here. Okay? That's stronger, okay? And then the last one was jackass. Jackass comes from the word donkey. A donkey is also called a jackass. Okay? And it's a funny thing about donkeys because donkeys have a bad reputation like they're stupid, but they're not. They're very smart animals, actually. They're very smart. But for some reason, they have a reputation of being stubborn. That's true. They're very stubborn. But they also have a reputation for being kind of dumb or stubborn or hard to work with. So when we call somebody a jackass, it's like we're saying you're like a donkey. You're like a pain in the ass. You're difficult. You're somehow not helpful. Yeah, and it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. If I call somebody a jackass, it's not really, really strong, but it's strong enough that it means like I don't have respect for this person.
Yes, I see, I see. Thank you very much. And my another question is about two words. Maybe they are not the same at all. I don't know. But I hope you will explain it to me. Uh, I have found this word recently in one voice room. It is a word opinion opinionated
Yeah.
opinionated and another word which seems to be very similar, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, presumption, presumptuous.
Yeah, so no. Opinionated just means you have many opinions. That's all. That's all it means. You have a lot of opinions and you like to share them with everybody. You're very opinionated. Okay? Like, there's some people that if you ask them something, like Russia is probably a perfect example, right? I think, I could be wrong, but I think there are probably some people in Russia that when you ask them about opinions about many things, they're like, I don't really have an opinion. I don't really care one way or the other. The same thing in America. There are many people that don't really have an opinion about some things. But there are many people that you talk to that if you ask them, well, what do you think about this? They have an opinion. What do you think about this? They have an opinion. That's all opinionated means. It just means you always have an opinion that you feel is worth sharing, right? But sometimes an opinion is not worth sharing. You know, it's just an opinion, right? And then you were saying something else. What was the other one?
Presumptuous.
Presumptuous, right. There's two words, to presume and to assume, okay? And they're very similar, but there is a difference. To presume something means that you're making some judgment with some information, but not all the information. Right? So you've made a presumption. It means to presume means I have some information. So because I have some information, I'm going to make a judgment. Okay, based on the little information I have. Assumption, to assume, is when you make a judgment with almost no information at all. Okay? So to assume is to make a judgment with no information. To presume is to make a judgment with some information. So if you are presumptuous, you are a person who is always trying to make judgments but without all the information.
And can you create some examples, maybe some short sentences?
Sure. Let me think here. Oh, yeah. So the word presume, I think the first time I ever heard the word presume was, Dr. Watson, I presume, from Sherlock Holmes. You know the books, right? The books from Sherlock Holmes, right? Arthur Conan Doyle. In Sherlock Holmes uses the word presume sometimes. I presume that this. I presume you are, which means I'm supposed to meet Mr. Watson here, and you are here, so you must be Mr. Watson. So that's when he says, Mr. Watson, I presume. So if I see somebody who's in this room, and I'm supposed to meet somebody in this room, that means I have some information. I'm supposed to meet somebody in this room at this time. Now I see somebody in this room at this time, so I'm presuming it must be him. I have some information, I presumed. Now, if I say, I am giving my students a test, okay? And one student, he got a great grade, but he's not a good student. He never gets great grades. So if I say, I assume you're cheating, I don't have any information. I don't know he cheated. I have no evidence that he cheated. I only assume he cheated because he always got bad grades before, and now he got one good grade suddenly. So that means I'm assuming he cheated. So to presume means to make a judgment with some information. To assume means to make a judgment without any information or evidence.
And okay, about Sherlock Holmes. If, for example, Sherlock Holmes performs some investigation, for example, Sherlock Holmes suspects somebody to be a criminal, for example, but he is not absolutely sure that this person is guilty.
Right.
What should we say? Sherlock Holmes presumes or
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes assumes?
In this case, it would be presumes if he has some information, if he has some idea that it's this guy, he has some evidence, right? Like maybe he found some footprints, right? And the shoes match the guy's shoes. But it's a common shoe that many people have, so it's not perfect information, but it's some information. So that would be a presumption. Yeah.
Yes, very interesting because the border between these
Yeah.
words is
It's
very
very,
thin.
that's right. It is very thin. You're right. But Julian said something funny, which is true. We do say this, the word assume. Sometimes when we talk about the word assume, we say, if you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and out of me. Because the word assume is spelled ASSUME. So we say, if you assume, you make an ass out of you and out of me. Don't assume things, right? And it's just it's a joke based on the spelling. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
I will not occupy this stage more. I have got the answers to my question. Okay,
Wonderful.
Have a good day.
Okay, take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, thank you for that, Julian. I was going to say that too. I just forgot. Yeah. And yeah, the word donkey, jackass, we also call donkeys. Sometimes they are just called an ass. That's the real word for donkey. It's another way to say donkey, right? So that's where the word jackass comes from, okay? And Yoser says, donkeys are a symbol of patience and hard working. In some cultures, yes. And in general, I agree. But there are also many stories about donkeys being stubborn or donkeys being difficult, you know, or maybe because they're difficult, you assume they're dumb. I think that's where it comes from. Okay? Vadim is from Russia, by the way. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I have time for maybe one more person if anybody wants to raise their hand and come talk to me. I'm just going back to look at the comments. Kushal, if you're still here, to work on your American accent, you need to take a lot of time. Okay? I think you should watch my live streams and you'll learn a lot about how to improve your accent. Okay? Okay, Tamor, are you still there, Tamor? Tamor? I'm sorry if I didn't get to you, Tamor. How can you feel American? I don't know what that means. What do you mean, Vishnu? How can you feel American? America is a place of everybody is different. That's the thing that makes us weird. Everybody here is different. Everybody is an individual. So Vishnu, I don't understand your question. It means weather. Huh? I don't understand. Try again. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the middle of the United States. Yeah, everybody's an individual. Everybody has their own character. It's almost impossible to describe an American. Okay, now I know this is true everywhere. Really, that's true of every country, everywhere. Everybody's an individual. But in particular, here, okay, there are no rules to being an American. Honestly, there are no rules. So there are... anybody can be. Okay? Yes, I'm speaking American English, yes. You are welcome, ASN. You're welcome. Your son is in Portland. He's studying. Okay. Portland's a pretty cool place from what I know. I've never been there myself, but I know some people there. Okay? Okay, if you have some questions, you can raise your hand and come talk to me, but you must have a question. Okay? Sorry, I'm checking some messages here. All right. Okay. All right. So how can we replace the words assume, and presume by suggest and suppose? Right. So, a supposition is a guess based on some pretty good evidence, right? So, assumption means to make a guess with no evidence. Presumption means to make a guess with some evidence. Supposition means to make a guess with a pretty good evidence. Okay? What are the basic rules for practicing speaking? There are no basic rules for practicing speaking. Speak. Make a plan. Okay, I'll give you one basic rule. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a method, then everything you're doing is not practicing. If you don't have a plan, if you haven't written it down, if you did not write it down, then you are not studying. You are not learning if you did not write it down. If you don't have a system, you are not learning. Okay, so the basic rules are, make some rules. Okay? How can you improve your language? I don't know because I don't know you. Come watch me every day and pay attention and take notes. 84,000 people watch me. And I'm sure they're not watching me because I'm cute. Okay? So if you watch me, I'm pretty sure you'll hear some good tips. Okay? Which language is most difficult in the world? Olga, there's no real way to judge that. If you're talking about the most popular languages, Chinese is considered to be one of the most difficult, of the most common languages. But there are definitely other languages that could be considered more difficult. Okay? Latin is difficult. Why? There is nobody who speaks it anymore. That's why, because it's difficult. All right, next question. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing? No. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Let me say that again. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. 8. OK， 如果你们要学英文，你需要用8个计划，你需要8个计划。OK。I don't have a particular plan, but I enjoy, I speak, I listen. Okay, but you know, Vadim, if you had a plan, you know it would work better. You know that you could do more if you made a system. Okay? Yes, 8. 8. 8. How should you study grammar? Well, there are many ways to study grammar. ChatGPT is an excellent way to study grammar. There's a book that I think is the best book. I have many, many books, but this one, Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. That's my favorite grammar book. There's also a good website that you can use called Games to Learn English.com. This is a free... Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just misspelled it. Let me try that again. Games... Let me write more slowly. To learn English.com. Go to this website. It's free. And you can play games and learn a lot about past tense and present tense and adverbs and adjectives and vocabulary and subjunctive mood and, you know, conditionals. It's all there. Okay, it's all there. Expecting a grammar class. I don't teach grammar, Govind. I don't teach grammar unless you're my private student. If you're a private student, then I'll teach you grammar. But I'm not going to teach grammar here. Why? I don't like grammar. It's boring. I know it. I have to teach it, but I don't like it. So, if you're not paying me, I'm not going to teach it. Okay? If you pay me, I'll teach you anything you want. Okay? My system is to be here every single free minute. I read here, I listen here, only sometimes I visit to other... Yeah. Okay, but again, I think you're doing well. Vadim, use what works for you. Use what works for you. How can you prepare for the IELTS in 3 or 4 months? You can't. You can prepare for it in 6 months or more. But if you prepare for it in less than 6 months, you are not as likely to succeed. Okay? You can do it, but it's not a good idea. You can take the IELTS test tomorrow, but it's not a good idea. 6 months is what I tell people. You need 6 months, at least, to study for the IELTS test. Okay? Okay, again, everybody, hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I'm a teacher, a real teacher. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I have 84,000 followers here. They watch me because I do teach English. But you need to ask good questions. Don't ask questions like, how can I be good at English? That is not a good question. Don't ask, how can I be fluent? No. Show up and listen. Take notes. Do the work. Do the work. Okay? Is there a way to express your own thoughts well? Well, yeah, but it takes practice. Language is an art. Art takes practice. talent is just a lot of practice. Every time you think someone is talented, all you're seeing is the result of a lot of practice. So if you want to be talented, practice more. Okay? What do I think about English beginners? Is it possible to practice with other people who are also learning English, or is it more important to practice with native speakers? Any practice is good practice. So, practicing with non-natives, like other people from your country, that's fine. That's good too. All right? Practice does not have to be perfect to be good. Okay? So, any practice you can do, you should try to do. All right? Is practicing with AI good? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Pavel, if I said, I'm going to pay a teacher to live in your house 24 hours a day, and you can ask that teacher anything you want, and they will always answer, and they will always try to help you. But they're a teacher, they're a human. So, of course, maybe you will ask them something and they don't know the answer. Or maybe you will ask them something and they'll give you an answer that's not quite right. But if I offered to pay to have a teacher live in your house to answer your questions anytime you wanted, you would say, yeah, please pay for a teacher for me. Please do that. Well, guess what? Now you have one. It's called ChatGPT. It's a teacher. It's not perfect. Neither am I. But it's living with you in your house. And you can ask it a question at 3 a.m. and it won't be mad. That's pretty amazing. Is it perfect? No. Is it insanely good? Yes. Yes. Okay. Next question. Vishnu, go to games2learnenglish.com. Go there, Vishnu. Go to games2learnenglish.com. 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 Okay, how can I arrange the verb and subject in a sentence correctly? I often face this problem. Serena, don't worry about it that much. Okay? The truth is, if you don't put them in the right order, probably people will still understand you. All right? And if you practice more, and if you make more mistakes, then you'll learn. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, Serena. I want you to make more mistakes with that problem. If you make more mistakes with that problem, you will find the answer more quickly. Make more mistakes. You'll learn better. Okay? If I do shadowing every single day for the American accent for more than 30 minutes and I try to speak with this accent every day for an hour, how much time do I need to have a natural American accent? There is no way for me to tell you that. No one can answer that. I don't know you. I don't know how well you speak. No one can answer that. But I will tell you this. Nobody cares about your accent. Nobody cares about your accent. Do you know what they do care about? They care if they can understand you. So You think English is only good if you have a perfect accent, but you're wrong. English has nothing to do with the accent. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Listen, I have 2 cars. I have 2 cars. I'm going to give you 1 car. Okay? You have to choose which car you want. These cars are both the same exact car. It's a very nice car. Let's say it's a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, it's a Mercedes-Benz. It's a nice car. But the first car, Car A has a perfect engine. It has perfect tires. It has a perfect inside. The interior is perfect. The transmission of the car is perfect. But, everything on that car is perfect except the paint. The paint on that car is not perfect. It's kind of ugly. It's red, but it's not a pretty red. All right? Or there's car B. Car B, the engine is not good. The tires are no good. The inside is very uncomfortable and dirty and doesn't work well. The transmission is not good. But the paint on that car is the most beautiful red you have ever seen. Which car do you want? Do you want car A or car B? Your accent is the paint on the car. Your accent is the paint on the car. Nobody cares about the paint on the car when you buy a car. The paint is the last thing you think about. Vishnu, no. The answer is A. You do not want car B. You want car A. Okay? All right. So, no, you can't have both. You can only have one. You can have one. There are no choices. There's no choices. All right? So, my point is, when you buy a car, do you think about the paint first? No, you don't. Because the paint is not really that important. Same thing with your accent. If your accent is clear, that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be clear. Okay? So if you say a word in English, and somebody looks at you like this, huh? Then you have a problem. That means your accent is not clear. They can't understand you. That's a problem. But if they can understand you, but they hear, oh, she has a Chinese accent, or he has an Arabic accent, nobody cares. Okay? They only care if they can understand you. All right? Okay. Let's see. How do I have so much energy? Coffee. And passion. You should try it sometime. Passion. It's the vitamin that gives limitless energy. Unlimited. Unlimited energy. All right, let's see. Lessons with AI versus lessons with my teacher. Of course, I pay money for these, and lessons with AI seem more effective. Well, that's possible. It's possible that the lessons with AI could be more effective than whatever teacher you have. Every teacher is different, right? Teaching is an art. there are some people who are great at teaching, some people who are terrible. So it depends on the teacher. But, Pavel, when you are climbing a mountain, you should use every tool that you can, right? So if two people are climbing the mountain and one person only has a bottle of water and the other person has a bottle of water and a map and snacks and a backpack and a camping tent and a sleeping bag and a GPS, and they have a telephone, they have everything. This guy with everything is more likely to succeed. So when you're learning, you should use every tool that you can, because that means you're more likely to succeed. Okay? You are shy to speak English. What can you do? Ahmed, look at me. Don't be shy. Next time you're shy, I want you to remember what I just said. Okay? Can ChatGPT help your English? Yes, it can. Of course, it can. Okay. All right, I must go. I'm tired. I've been here for almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 48 minutes. So I do need to go. I don't have unlimited energy. I do have limited energy. So I need to go. But before I go, here is my YouTube. Here is my website. Here is my YouTube. And here is my blog. Go to those 3 things and follow and read and pay attention. Okay? Do I mean that American or British accent does not matter, but only clear speaking? I mean that if you speak English well, nobody cares what accent you have. For example, Gandhi. Gandhi said many famous words. Did anybody say, oh, well, Gandhi's words were okay, but he has a bad accent? Einstein had an accent. Did anybody say, well, E equals MC squared, but he didn't pronounce it well, so it's not good? No, nobody said that. So, if it is clear, that's all that matters. Okay? If it is clear, that is all that matters. All right? Great words have no country. Great words have no culture. Great words have no accent. Great words are just great words. Okay? All right. Everybody, I must go. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Come back and see me again. I'll be back on Monday. Today is Saturday. I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If I'm busy, I'm not here. If I'm tired, I'm not here. If I need a break, I'm not here. But I'm almost always here. Okay? I'm almost always here. Thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you, Vadim. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the gifts and for following and participating. I will see you guys next time. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you are in the world. See you next time. Bye-bye. Ooh, I was over here and I didn't even see these questions over here. Hello, Maria, and hello, Oripov. I don't really use my Instagram, no. And Zoe, hello, yes, hello. Will I be your free teacher? Maybe for you, Zoe, because you've been such a long time follower. Okay, thank you very much.